Come one, come more. Come one, come more to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come more to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessings, blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come one, come more to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come one, come more to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Hello. Good evening.
Welcome to the Village Radio Talk Show family. Apologies for the late. We'll just dive in. How you doing? You doing, Joanne?
I'm doing great on this wonderful Thursday evening.
Yeah.
So our first Thursday in the month of October, my God, countdown.
Definitely. Been noticing a lot this week, and even something that I was talking to a colleague about, how civilized and just
Normal?
respectful, normal the vice presidential debate was, right?
Yeah.
It just seems that that's how a debate should run.
Yeah, you're right.
Despite the disagreement that they had even on stage,
They still loved each other.
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, like even when with Vance, he was like, I didn't know that your
son.
yeah, it's like,
Witness.
I'm
A
sorry
shooting.
about that.
I think that was baloney. To be honest with you, I really think it was baloney.
but it's the decorum of it though, like
I know.
it's just the fact you acknowledge
He
him.
is so phony to me.
Yeah.
I cannot stand that man. He is so phony. Yes, I said it. I do not like Vance at all. His racist behind. So he is phony baloney to me. Like he said, he'll make up things to get the media's attention. So
He
there
did
is
say that.
nothing genuine about that man at all.
Yeah, he did say that,
Yeah. So
but
he don't get no
definitely,
love from me.
the definite appropriateness of it. What's up, John?
Hello.
Hey.
You hearing us?
Am I in?
Oh, I was saying, what's up? How you doing?
Technical difficulties.
But you figure it out, man. So that's good. So we here. We were just talking about the VP debate. It was civilized. That's what it should be. What you thought about it? John?
Yeah, he is having technical difficulties.
I don't think he even hearing us.
Do you hear us? No, he don't hear us.
Yeah, his thing is on mute. John, if you're hearing us, chime in. I don't think he's hearing us. So but it definitely was civilized.
Yeah, you know what he still didn't admit that Trump lost. He actually admit that he will do anything. He's a little puppy for Trump.
Mhm.
So, it is what it is. And I hope people pay attention to that.
Right. Roger, you ready? Just thumbs up if you're ready. No, I don't think you're ready. Oh, he's thumbs down.
Yeah.
I definitely won't. I'll try and come back to it still though.
All right. Now, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
We were saying what you thought about the VP debate.
I mean, I didn't really pay too much attention to the VP debate.
You know what was surprising? Some people who were unsure, at the end of the day, they decided to go with Donald Trump because of the VP debate. So I thought that was interesting. The man
I don't know. So, it's those people who say because of the VP debate, they've decided they knew they were going to Donald Trump before the VP debate. The VP debate did not really do anything to change people's opinions. That's what I thought. I don't think that, I think they already knew where they were going. And, the question is, were they independents? Did the independent voters believe that the VP debate changed their decision to support Donald Trump? I don't think that happens at all.
Yeah.
It is. We're already gonna go with them.
They were going. Everybody's in their corner. Everybody's in the Republican, the Democratic corner. It's who the independents, and the independents really don't.
What do you think the point of the VP debate was for then?
Roger, your light in the back.
Yeah, I know, but either way, it's too dark. So that's
really?
Why. Yes, I have on both lights, but I know what to do next time. Like that light in the back needs to go behind the computer.
Okay.
So for now, we're just gonna.
Oh, we finally see you. We finally see your face.
Well, thank you. I don't, John. I didn't pay much attention to the VP debate either. And again, I would have paid more attention to it if Joe Biden was running.
Yeah.
Than Kamala Harris. Both candidates. The only thing that, if you're looking at the VP debate is a determination on whether or not for Donald Trump, do you think that JD Vance would make a good president? Right? Because
I think JD Vance. I don't think a lot of people are turned off by.
I'm not saying that he would make a good president, right? I'm just simply saying for those people who are looking at the debate, that's to determine whether or not he make a good president or not, right? Because the vice president becomes the next front runner for the that party in which he or she represents, right? So the reality of the situation is Kamala Harris is not expected to die in office, right? She's not expected to die in office. So she's going to have die or have dementia or have any of those different things that affects President Joe Biden at this time. So the vice presidential candidate doesn't mean much, even though he went against Donald Trump in some of the things that he said. Like, I don't know. I don't remember if he backed down or he doubled down on the Haitian thing. I got to remember. I don't know if anybody remember.
One of his big things was he couldn't acknowledge that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. And I think it just shows you he's not independent. He's just to go along to get along. And to me, that really cancels out JD Vance. For a lot of people, I mean, if you can't acknowledge that this guy lost, I mean, you know, and those MAGA people will support him. But the whole point, the independents are saying, like, if you can't acknowledge something simple like the pressure that Donald Trump was putting under Mike Pence to do all of this. So I think that sorts of like discounts him.
You know, I think that America has never really voted. I'm trying to think of when was the last time that a vice presidential election played a major factor. I think the first term of Barack Obama with Sarah Palin, that was a big deal.
Yeah, just
because she
you
was
know, to have
showed
that.
America that she was an idiot,
They paid attention.
right? That she was a real idiot in that election.
Right.
Thank you, Jalen. We're doing great. Thank you.
And happy early birthday, Jalen.
Right. But I don't know that it swung the debate between Barack Obama and John McCain in 2000.
No, I don't. That doesn't. No.
Right.
No, I don't think so. No.
Right. So it doesn't really do anything other than say, is this person capable of being second in command? But in reality, the president is the president. The president makes all the final decisions.
Yeah. And I'm kind of surprised that constantly Vance is saying, well, Kamala's, she's the one who's causing the prices to go down. She's the one he's just such an idiot. He is just such an idiot. Every time he opens his mouth, I think how stupid he is. By blaming her for the prices, she's the one who's creating the prices, the increase and the decrease. Come on, man.
One of the things that I've learned a lot about the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, John, is that they fearmonger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they definitely do that.
Right. And with fear mongering comes what people want to grow on. They're not talking facts. They're not speaking real life situations. They're talking about what can I say to the American people to fearmonger.
To scare you into voting for them.
To voting for them. And that's what they're doing, right? The Haitian people are eating your pets, right?
But
Yeah,
you know what?
All criminals, we're letting in migrant criminals, right? In America, most of the crimes are committed by Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Most crimes are committed by the American people, not by undocumented immigrants.
Right.
They do commit crimes, but most of the crimes, right? I don't agree with that, Denev. I don't agree that most debates are two people insulting each other. There are some insults, some jabs, but I don't agree that debates are two people insulting each other. I think debates, if done properly, will bring out the relevant points to what you want to hear the next leadership is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen to the Trump-Kamala Harris debate, whether you agree with them or not, Kamala Harris spoke about what she envisioned America to be, right? And what she plans to do, whether or not you agree with the plan, right? Doesn't mean it's a great plan, right? Nobody's arguing that it's a great plan.
Right.
To create childcare, she wants to do this. You have a plan. Donald Trump didn't show a plan in his debate.
No.
Right?
Insult.
He wasn't even insults. He was Donald Trump was fear-mongering. Donald Trump was talking about the migrants and the Venezuelans who are
right.
who are responsible for the deaths and the killing, which is just
Right.
not true. The
Right.
15-year-old boy over the summer who shot and killed, right? Who shot and killed the postal worker wasn't a migrant. Right? That person was not a migrant. It was a 15-year-old boy who was gangster related, who came in and killed the postal worker and jumped in a car and kept it moving.
Right.
Right? So let us, and that's what the migrants. No, a lot of us came to America, and I know personally, I know of a lot of undocumented people coming from many countries,
Right.
who committed zero crime. They're trying to stay away from the radar. They don't want to be
Right.
seen. It's like somebody who owns a gun permit who doesn't want to get in trouble with the law. They don't want to do anything. Most
Right.
people who commit crimes are not people with legal guns. It's the same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is the same. So I don't agree that the debates are about people insulting each other at all. So, and I feel bad, but I want to pivot a little bit, and then we could come back to debate about we lost a few big Americans or became wind of some losses of some Americans this week and last week. Right. One of them is John Amos. We just learned about it, came through the news, although he died early in the summer. We just learned about it.
We died early in the summer.
Yeah, he died August 21st. And so we
just heard about it now, man. Wow.
Yeah, we're just hearing about that. Big deal in the 70s, Roots and Good Times, right? And in the 80s, he was the father-in-law in coming to America, and he starred in a lot of shows that we watched and are part of. Losing Dikembe Mutombo, 58 years old.
Yeah, I didn't know he had brain cancer. Wow.
Yeah, right. Learning that Brett Favre has Parkinson's. We learned that this week as well. And then the loss of the singer Chris Christopherson.
A lot of people. The Good Time guy.
Yeah, that's the one we just mentioned. That's Johnny.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Alzheimer's, I think.
Right. And also that the doctor that for Matthew Perry, right? He pled guilty. Right. Yeah. He pled guilty for the overdose on Matthew Perry. Ladies and gentlemen, you can call in to us at the radio. We did create the voice note for you. 347-746-6598. That's 347-746-6598. Please do call in. We mentioned James Earl Jones last week, but again, as a reminder, 93 years old, an iconic. And there was also another actor he's a Broadway actor that died last week. He was 48 years old. He also died from cancer last week. So, we lost a few people. And then obviously now you have continued issues with Puff Daddy. Man, I don't know, boy. I don't know what's going on with him, dog. He can't get bail. There's a video out about him about smacking Memphis, audio out about him smacking Memphis Bleak around. You
mean Memphis Bleak?
Yeah, Memphis Bleak. Yeah, Memphis Bleak. But they call him Memphis Bleak. But yeah, same person, right? right? And he just can't get enough. Now, and it's funny, like with right. In this case, people have right to be disassociating themselves from him.
Yeah, but it's not
But
funny.
yeah, it's not funny. I hear that.
LeBron James is distancing himself from him, and that was
All
one
his
of his
friends, all his friends. So
Yeah.
it's when you're in trouble, you see who your friends are. You know,
Amen.
so here it is.
Amen.
Um,
Amen.
all of
Amen.
them were hanging out, popping all types of drinks, going out, having parties and everything. Jay-Z, all of them. The white party, that was the place to be. And now they don't want to admit, oh no.
It lets you know. You know, I was actually having this conversation today, John, with my boy, and somebody else, and we all three of us were in a conversation. And I said, you need everybody, but everybody's not your friend.
Yeah, that's
right. You need everybody, but everybody's not your friend. And they're
Nope.
like, no. I'm like, you can't put everybody in a friend category because everybody's not. When the time comes, you're gonna see who's gonna leave you.
There you
And
go.
some of them will come back.
That the phrase says, you are
Right.
right, or when you are sick.
Or when
You
you're
realize
sick.
Yeah.
Right. And those are the issues out there. I'm not saying that Puff Daddy, you were there, right? You were there. You saw some of the stuff. You weren't willing to talk about it. And now that he's in trouble, you're like, oh yeah, I saw that. No.
Now I have a
Did you tell him
question.
to stop? Did you do
Maybe
this?
they
Did you-
weren't willing to talk about it because they were afraid the repercussion of speaking out. Because look what happened to Wendy Williams when she spoke out about him. She had to relocate to Pennsylvania. So some people, when you start talking out, it becomes a problem.
You know what? Let's. We have to be very. How can I say this? You know, we have to look at things for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole situation with, you know, Sean Combs, you know, you talk about the mayor, you talk about, you know, just the overall criminal justice system on the state and federal level. And, you know, if you break the law, I understand it. But then you have people who sit in judgment and these prosecutors really trying to put things together. You know, I'll never forget what my attorney told me. He said the federal government doesn't want to know what the truth actually is. They want to know what they believe the truth to be. So what they will do is they will loop everything together to create their narrative that fits, to create the facts that fit their narrative. And by the time you try to parse it and peel everything back, either you don't have enough money to do it or it's too late, you know. And you know, it's when you're in positions of power, there's certain decisions that you have to make. And when you make those decisions, you want to base their decisions on the actual facts of what they are. And a lot of times, not on what you believe the facts to be.
You know, John, I'm going to interject myself here in this conversation, right?
Thank you for saying that. Our comments from our listeners. Thank you for saying the word friend is used too loosely. Thank you.
Yes. I agree. I agree with that. And sometimes you don't want to insult somebody by saying you're an acquaintance, right? You don't want to do that.
True.
Right.
Another one.
Right. That's speaking truth to power, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I want to talk about, like, the thing is, like, I have a record, right? I have a record for something I would consider the stupidest thing to have a record for. No, I'm dead serious.
Yes, you said it about.
Yeah, riding my bicycle on a red light, through a red light, right? During the time of stop and frisk, right?
Mhm.
During the time of stop and frisk, riding my bicycle on a red light, my cousin gets pulled over. I'm riding with him, right? They tag on resisting arrest and use of profanity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
I went to get a disposition for something else that I was working on, right?
Right.
This thing was placed on my record. And there was another incident where the system itself, yeah, exactly, Tamika. I'm laughing at that crap too, right? Tell
But-
somebody you got arrested for running a red light on your bicycle is funny as hell, right? And the second thing was, right, I got arrested because the system failed, right? I was driving on a suspended license,
So you got arrested twice.
right? The third time was,
Oh
I
my
get
God.
but all three times, one of them, I'm like, you know what? So the reason why I'm having this conversation because I want to go through a couple of things, right? Because there are a couple of reasons why I'm doing it. The second arrest, the third arrest was a suspended license. I paid my fine, and one state did not
Recognize it.
did not do their due diligence to put the paperwork in to say that I paid the fine and they should clear my license.
Mm-hmm.
I went to court. All of these cases were dismissed as ludicrous. At least I thought. The third case was an issue that was just dismissed, period. There's nothing, no indictment, no nothing. I was just charged, right? Here's the issue going to both of what we're talking about with friends and with the justice system. The issues are dismissed and sealed.
Right.
In New York State, it doesn't matter. In New York State, once you are arrested, it stays on your record for life. No matter the outcome of the case.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to explain something to somebody. Now, one, the listeners might hear, I got arrested. Oh, he got arrested. I got to stay away from him.
Mhm.
Right? They'll hear that.
Mhm.
Right? Not hearing, I was caught up in stop and frisk. I
Mhm.
didn't even know you called it stop and frisk back in the 90s, John.
Right.
I didn't know that crap.
You're holding the keys to the city, huh?
Right? I need to. And then I suspended license. Really? I paid my fine.
Mhm.
And because North Carolina didn't put it into the system that the fine was paid for, and even the coach said, what the hell are you doing here?
Mhm.
Not to mention the cop that arrested me because they wanted overtime. Because I didn't do
Right.
anything wrong to be arrested to begin with. Right? I made a right turn. The cop goes, it wasn't illegal. They're literally arguing about this crap while they arrested me, and they're talking, said we needed overtime, so we need to take this collar. They're arguing with this in the car. Can't leave my record. People hear, oh, he got arrested. Oh, I heard that all the time. They don't even care what you get arrested for. It's an issue. I don't have a lawsuit. They told me I can't sue.
Mhm.
They told me I can't sue because legally my license was suspended. Who am I suing? And they said it's too late, right, John, for the stop and frisk thing.
Yeah.
Right? Running the red light and then arrest, because running the red light is supposed to be just a DAT. And even the DAT is still on your record.
Mhm.
But these are the things that, like, one, I'm pissed off on one side because people are not your friends. They get upset, start labeling you. And two, the justice system doesn't make it any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Right? So you have two issues that you're facing. All of a sudden, I heard they don't expunge records in New York. I didn't even know that. Right? And it should be expunged. Because if he was dismissed without trial, without any verdict, and then these what do you call them? These defense, what do you call them? Legal aids, attorney, telling you to take a plea deed for this crap. Especially if somebody who don't have money, you're taking a plea deal, and people being your friend. No, those are some issues that we have to talk about. In terms of what's going on in our community, what's going on in society, and what we call people who label you in simple situation. Look, what's his name has not even charged with any yet, and people are labeling him, Eric Adams. We know he's in trouble, but everybody's scattering away from him. They weren't his friends, and also Eric kind of screwed up too because he forgot about some of his true friends that he grew up with too. I mean, I know that. Right. I know that too. Right. But the other thing that I want to, a lot of people are talking about like Puff Daddy and his parties, Joanne. And one of the things that I say is, if I'm going to your house to a party, I don't know what you're doing behind the scenes. I'm having a good time at your party. That doesn't mean that I know what's going on behind your scenes. So everybody didn't know what was happening at Puff Daddy's party. Period.
Yeah.
Right? So
and not everybody got accepted into that behind the scenes.
Right. And so people need to know that not everyone is guilty of the issue. So they shouldn't all be
grouped together.
Right? Everybody wasn't aware. Everybody wasn't
a participant in the curricular activities.
But I would say the opposite for Jerry Epstein, and just saying, I forgot just saying his last name, but the last name is slipping me at this time. A lot of those people knew and participated.
Oh, you're right. Dala VA.
Yeah, Dala VA. Virtual assistant, Dala virtual assistant, right?
Okay.
Let me give Dala VA a plug. Just to say that if you need a virtual secretary,
okay.
Reach out to Dala VA.
Okay.
Dala VA, put your number up there so people, if they need a virtual secretary, do reach out to you.
Dala VA.
Right. Or a website or an email, however they can contact you. If you need a virtual assistant, do reach out to Dala VA.
When trouble comes, your friends disappear. That is so true.
They're not friends. If they disappear, they're not friends. We're gonna take that word away.
Your associates disappear?
I wouldn't even call them associates.
What you call them?
The only thing I tell people all the time, the only 3 people that I reached out to in jail in my life.
What, your parents? Your wife?
No. My wife didn't went to jail. I won't say.
You said when you went to jail, right?
No, I reached out to that were in jail. I don't normally reach out to people in jail.
Okay.
I reached out to a couple of people in jail while they were in jail. I reached out to about 3 or 4 people.
Okay.
While they were in jail. But normally I don't reach out to people in jail. But I felt a certain level of injustice for those people while they were there. I know one person was upset with me that I didn't reach out to him. But I'm like, you pulled a gun on somebody. Why were you walking a gun and your temper got you to pulling a gun and shooting the wrong person? I'm not reaching out to you in jail. Right? That's not going to happen. But outside of that, I had a couple of friends that were in jail. I'm not calling no name on the air. And I did reach out. I think one of them I was unsuccessful. One of them I reached out to 2 different numbers for them. Herman had given me one number for that person. And then I tried to call a couple of times. I didn't reach them. But I was glad when they came out. I had an opportunity to interact. But and so going back to the conversation I was having today, right, when we're talking about friends, I never forget my story in 1994, Dr. Bryant and John. In 1994, I bust up my collarbone wrestling. I was always bring the story up, right? I'm a ranked wrestler. I'm in the semifinals. I've beaten this guy before. I'm beating him now. Picked him up to do my signature move.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Picked him up to slam him. And as I dropped back to slam him, he came into my shoulder blade, my left shoulder, popped it wide open.
Ew.
Right?
Grossing people out on the show tonight. Come on, man.
I could gross you out about the injury. I'm not going to do that.
No, it's okay.
And I went to a very rich college. Like the majority of people that were there had money or extremely smart.
Hardwick, right?
Haverford.
Haverford. Yeah.
Yeah, sophomore Haverford down there. You know, your daughter went to sophomore, right? Neighboring schools, right? And the people that had money, they came to visit me. They hung out. We watched sports. We chilled.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My friends, like the housekeepers at the building, right? The housekeepers. John, I never passed by anybody and say hello without saying hello.
Right.
No matter where they were.
Mm-hmm.
When I got sick, my good friends came to me that were rich or not, but the people who the housekeepers, they came in, they gave me food to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine if I had passed those people by. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to treat people with respect that you
All
want
the
them,
time. True.
not for the situation. Right? You can't. And I think Eric Adams did that a little bit, and I think that's why he's losing some friends. Right? You got somewhere and you forgot about some of the people who got you there, and the people who are think they're better than you are at the same level are leaving them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, John, you did a good job when you were in office that you, I guess, from your mother and father upbringing, right? Everybody is somebody, right? Everybody's somebody, and that's it. Because I never know what is that rule? The same people you know on your way up.
Same
Right?
people you see going down.
There you go. And if you spat on them going up, right? They're not going to forget about it.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of people like to gloat in other people's miseries. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's you know. But if it
we're
was,
not your friends, though, John.
yeah, then they were never your friends, because if they were in the same situation, they would want some support too. So, I mean, you know who your friends are, man.
Yeah,
Just
it's funny. Somebody sent me another quote that said, "Your enemies." Let me see if I get it right. Your friends that hate you were never your friends to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
never.
Everybody matters.
Everybody's matter. That sums it up. Wenda. Right? Because everybody's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the second top 8 from the mayor who now left? Mayor Adams, right? So, who?
Pearson.
Kirsten Foy?
Tim
Pearson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tim Pearson.
Friends, enemies, that's where they are.
Well, it was a job for him, so we know that. I'm not, right? Accept it for what it is. A lot of people are going to step down.
Well, I don't know. I think right now he might be put in a position to actually nudge people to resign.
Why?
Because that's one thing that Kathy Hochul mentioned, that there'll be changes with who's in the system.
You know, man, you know what bothers me is, man, every time it's a Democrat, the Democrats are always fearing resign, resign, resign.
They want
And the
people-
Republicans all the time, they just stick together and let the process take its course. Yeah,
And
we
even when
always,
the process take its course, they're still sticking with you.
they're still sticking with you, man. And this is what's wrong.
Yeah,
This is what's actually wrong. You know,
gently push him to get rid of some people because and I did read that some of the people who were named in the lawsuit or whatever that's being investigated, that they gotta go.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
think
some
that's why
people,
the
some people,
chancellor-
don't
yeah.
get me wrong. I'm sure some people did some wrong, John. I'm sure of that.
Mhm.
But the amount of people that's letting them, is like letting them to leave his ass outside. To me, I don't think all of them should be, because some of them said he was a friend
Mhm.
and he trusted a lot of them, and he has been loyal to a lot of them. That's
Mhm.
my point. Too many of them are leaving him.
That was loyal, right?
Not
very end.
loyal, nothing. That was supposed to be loyal. Ladies and gentlemen,
He
please
was loyal to them.
right. Please don't be afraid to call in. We're looking for you to hear your voice out there. Village Land 347 746 6598. Again, that's 347 746 6598. Exactly. The Democrats are too quick to tell elected leaders to resign. I'm going to go one further. Democrats are too quick to pass judgment
all
on
the
your
time,
innocence and your guilt.
all the time.
By the way, big up to our Lady Liberty in New York. Right, they're up 2-1 in the series against the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, the Aces are the one who beat them last year for the championship.
For the championship. So our Lady Liberty, they're doing nicely for what's going on. You know, so we have to be cognizant about a lot of things that is happening. Want to make sure that I say big up to my big birthday to my boy Corey. He has a birthday coming up over the weekend.
What day?
I think it's the 5th. Right,
Okay.
I think Corey's birthday is the 5th.
Our listener Jalen is the 6th.
Listen, Jalen is the 6th. Let me double check in Corey. But I think it's, I don't have it here, but I think it's the 5th.
Agreed, Democrats are not sincere. Well, that's why you go October 5th. You're muted.
There you go. So it's October 5th. So Chris, what are we doing for his birthday? Oh, Chris, I've been meaning to call you too, man. My mind ran on you today.
Thank you, Roderick. It's October 5th. Happy birthday, Corey.
Happy birthday, Corey. See, I told you it was October 5th. I just wasn't 100% 100% certain. So what are we doing for your birthday? What are we doing? We're in 8. Really, though? Really? Really, Chris? Really, Buck?
Okay.
You and Corey are both losers, man. I could have been this. I have none. Actually, no. I have baseball all weekend. I would have made the game on Saturday, but I would have made it on Sunday, so I could come down and at least celebrate your birthday, you loser. But
that's how you.
Oh, by the way, Corey, who's celebrating his birthday this weekend. Corey has been one of my longest friends as well. So big out. We've been friends since 1992. I met Corey while I was in college, and Hotlanta for real. And Kobe and I both I'm Corey. Corey and I both beat Kobe. I beat Kobe 1-on-1. Corey beat him in high school because Corey played against Kobe in the high school, and we still always play together. So both of us have the right to say. Corey actually has his highlights on his page of him beating the Black Mamba. I don't have a highlight because I didn't know anything about videotaping at that time. So I can only take my word for it. I always like to joke with Corey how I almost took Kobe's career out because I bridged him. I bridged him in a game when we were playing in Baisley Park. Literally bridged him. We're playing a 3-on-3. And he jumped up to make a shot. And I bent down. Kobe, I had to grab and reach Kobe behind my back. Right? Corey, Roger helped to train me to get better to beat a young Kobe. And don't forget I trained you to make Division I. Don't forget that. I was disappointed when he told me you were no longer playing, but I helped Corey to make Division I. So big up to Corey, big up to, hopefully, sometimes I forget birthdays and people kill me, but let me just double check. Oh, I have a sad story. Talking about a good story, Corey. I got a call over the weekend on Saturday, John.
Mm-hmm.
And in your old district there by Rockaway and Livonia, when they gonna start cleaning up that area, man?
I know.
Childhood friend from 1982 October. 1982 October.
Mm-hmm.
We became instant friends from
Mm-hmm.
East 93rd. He lived on East 93rd, John, between B and Ditmas.
Mm-hmm.
Was stabbed and killed on September 13th at Rockaway and Livonia. 2 stabs in the back, punctured one of his organs, and he bleed out. They couldn't stop the bleeding.
No more sad stories. No more, it's just...
No, but it's the area, man. It's the area. When are they going to clean it up? It's like I used to get mad at Charles Barron because the potholes in the schools in District 19 and 23 are horrible.
Well, now,
what's going on? They're still terrible, but they're getting better. One of the worst.
You just got to put in the work and get it done, man.
But it's not just the work, John. It's not just the work. It's also the idea of snitching, right? The idea of snitching, right? You got to start talking about the people in your community who are committing the crimes. You got to start talking about them. Stop saying, "Oh, I don't want to switch or snitch or whatever." Right? The crime is still happening. I remember going to the pink houses on Linden Boulevard, John.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the pink houses are.
Right.
I remember a kid getting shot at Rockaway Avenue and Hegeman. Shot and killed on his he would have been 16 at the time. I don't know if you remember that story. The kid was going to turn 17 the next day, and he left from Maxwell to go to school at 275 at one of those they call those schools transfer schools.
Transfer, yeah.
They did it at the bus stop and light them up. Like in East New York, Brownsville, the crime, it's no different. It's like still the 90s. 75th precinct and the 75th precinct have some of the highest death rates in New York City and violent crimes. In New York City, actually in the world, even in some places in third world countries.
Roger, I don't know about that now.
I'm just saying that was just my opinion. That second part is just my opinion.
Okay.
All right. The first part about
New York and Brownsville have been being cleaned up. You have a lot more people involved. You have housing. You have a very active community board, precinct council. So certain things are changing.
It's improving, John, but it's not improving at the level that it needs to be.
But there's a lot of construction happening. There's a synagogue,
and I don't want it cleaned up through gentrification.
Well, that's happening.
I don't want it cleaned up through gentrification. I have an issue with jumping, but we need to be able to police our own. Like, John, what if one thing that we talked about? Your mother, your father, my father would smack me upside the head.
Yeah.
Right? My mother was not afraid of her children.
Mine
Period.
neither.
Neither was yours. I
Nope.
don't know about Dr. Dry. I don't know about Auntie Juju, but we know, and I know in certain Haitian families, it ain't gonna happen, Dr. Brian. So you don't have to tell me, although I'm joking, right? But look at you and your family.
Hmm.
Things got to change, and that's why I told people when I had this conversation before. It ain't immigrants that are creating these crimes that the Trump administration want people to believe.
It's him and Bozo, the clowns.
Right?
ones
It's
that-
not just immigrant. I'm not saying we don't have some bad ones. We do. We have some terrible ones. Right? Let's be honest, right? We're not giving nobody a pass.
Nope.
Nobody. But it doesn't mean stop blaming immigrants and the migrants for all of these issues that happen in our city.
I agree.
Right? What else is up? We
going on a lot.
big up to
The strike that's taking place at the U.S. port.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
I don't. You think it's a problem?
It is a
that
problem.
could be that.
Or
That could be a serious problem if it's not resolved. within our-
Right.
for oil
Everything else.
prices.
No, it's not oil prices. The food.
No, not just,
market.
but once you can't get into the ports, they can't dock to give oil. Period.
It has ramifications. Will definitely be
felt.
felt between the northeast and the southeast. You know, if this thing is not resolved, everybody talks about supply chain. This will really impact the supply chain of the flow of goods on the northeast and southeast corridor. It will definitely have an impact. It will also be an impact on prices. It's like the supply and demand. If we're not getting the supply and the demand is high, the prices are going to increase.
And you know how quick to increase something.
And you know what? I really would like Kamala Harris to step up
for this situation.
No, well, yes, obviously as presidential candidate, absolutely. But no, not. I'm not talking about that. That's part of it. But I want her to guarantee Americans that we will, in essence, reduce prices.
Oh, wait. Right. Did they call off the strike?
Thank you, Wenda, for the update.
What happened?
She just said the strike is called off until January.
So why they wait till January?
All right. Well, we didn't have that as we got on air. So thank you, Wenda, for giving us the update. But I still want Kamala Harris to look into going back to pre-COVID prices on products. These big businesses are making too much money on products that they could reduce the prices.
How do you expect her to do that?
What do you mean by
there's so
these
many
companies that you force these big businesses to you can force them to.
Roger, because you know, I'm a business person. My thing is the bottom line is for me to make profit. Don't force me into doing something. If you want to sit down, we can negotiate and we can.
John, I don't care what term you want to call it. I don't care what term you want to call it.
I hear you.
The American people are suffering. Period.
Agreed.
The salaries that we're making are not offsetting what the CEOs are making. And I'm not talking about the owners, the big billionaires. I'm talking about the CEOs, the executive directors, the vice president. The people are making $40-50 million a year because of these ridiculous prices. And remember, more billionaires are Democrats than they are Republican. Remember that.
Right.
It's the millionaires who are making the money off the backs of the middle class, who are, in essence, affecting prices.
Okay.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. Let's get back to eggs for $2.99, $1.99. A loaf of bread. But daily essentials are ridiculous. You want to buy a luxury car, you put a tax on it. Hey, you want to buy a luxury car, pay for it. If you want to buy a car, right? You want to buy a Maybach, pay for the Maybach.
Right.
But you want to buy a Pinto, don't charge me a Maybach price.
Right.
Right? That's my argument. Let's get it back to America. Let's get America to becoming affordable. Not a welfare country, but an affordable country.
Gotcha.
Right. So we want to send out Dr. Brian, I want you to take the lead on this. Hurricane Helene. Now we have Hurricane Kirk that's coming up. Hurricane Helene, responsible for about 200 deaths.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong?
That was something. You know.
What are we doing wrong?
What are we doing wrong? We're not preparing, and we're not paying attention to how climate change is affecting things. There's so many things, infrastructure we need to put in place to make sure that when there are storms, what are some preventive maintenance we can put in place to prevent death like this? They were not expecting so many people to pass away, to get run off, you know, the mountains and things like that. So a lot of different things. So it is sad to hear some of the experience, some of the mothers seeing their kids wash away, or them. It's heartbreaking.
Definitely heartbreaking.
And the thing is, a whole area in North Carolina, not only one place, completely destroyed. You know, Florida. Thank God I got out of Fort Myers. Some part of Florida, you know, North Carolina, some part of Georgia. So we have many places, and this also affects the economy, the election, a lot of things that's going to happen. So just before a major event, destruction.
Right.
You know, Hurricane Helene destroyed areas. So we never want to see that happen through natural disaster.
Right.
But I want to put a different spin on it.
What spin?
I want to put the political spin on it.
Okay.
Why our Republican brothers and sisters, why are they so stubborn? Not all of them were Republican brothers and sisters.
What are you talking about?
Why didn't they leave? A lot of them were told to leave. Why aren't you leaving? Evacuate. Why are you still there? And I hate to put a spin on it, but
how do you know they're Republicans?
I didn't say that. I said Republican areas. I should say that. That's what I should say. Strong Republican areas. Right? Strong Republican areas.
A lot of people don't want to leave their home, even in the West Indies. When they hear there's a hurricane or earthquake or
just
whatever.
Just the people who are Republican thinking.
That's not true.
Or have
I would agree with you, Dr. Brian. Yeah, definitely. There's some people just don't want to leave their possessions, and they're worried about certain things.
It's not about leaving your possessions, right? because they believe in the orange Jesus. Right? That's true.
This is not a joking matter, my friend.
Brother, yeah, not
matter.
Roger.
It's not a joking matter, right? But you find that a lot of times in these disaster areas are highly concentrated Republican states, Republican cities.
No, it doesn't. That does not
Right?
stop.
Yeah.
They're human.
It's
That's
not
all of
gonna,
us.
wait, I'm not talking about the natural disaster. I'm not talking about the losing of the homes. That's what I'm
But
talking
that's
about.
what people are tied to. They don't want to leave because they don't want to lose their home.
And it's the mentality. It's just like a lot of people looking at the negativity of Trump and still saying, I'm still supporting him. I see the danger, but I don't care about the danger. That's my
human
point.
nature. That is human nature. Unfortunately.
Why?
Unfortunately, you're correct.
That's how
It
they
is
are.
unfortunate, yes, but sometimes we're going to have to start seeing things that are in front of us and saying, this is dangerous. I'm not going to see a tiger and go pet it.
Right.
Some people, some of our people actually have done that.
I know that. And so all of a sudden the person get killed by the damn tiger and we feel sorry for the person. Why? I'm not talking about the destruction. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not talking about somebody losing their home or the car blown away.
If
I'm
you're
not talking about that.
like that, think about the people who get involved in gangs. They know that when
That's
they
true. That's another one, right?
Okay,
That's the same thing, right?
Who's a gun owner who's not careful about locking it away and have kids. So all of that. So it is human nature. I'm sorry to say.
Again, we know that. But a lot of these incidents, naturally high death rates. We had a horrible storm with Sandy 12 years ago in New York City.
Mhm.
We had one death. Democrat, because I know the family, right? Thought things were okay, went to walk the dog. God forbid the tree came down and she was killed.
But Queens the same way. Not too long ago, was it last year? Last year, the year before. Here it is. There are storms that happen, and people died. They stayed in their home because they wanted to save and preserve their home.
Again, Dr. Bryant, we're not arguing the loss of property. Your death cannot be recovered. Your property might not be able to be recovered, but you can get something else.
Let's think about snowstorms. People want to get home in snowstorms where they shut down the road. Same thing as when there's a rainstorm. They tell them don't go. They're going to go. So people are going to do the opposite of what you advise them to do, and you deal with the consequences.
That's true.
Right? So, I mean, those are some of my issues, right? Those are some of the issues to me. I'm not talking about, again, I'm not arguing. I know people are tied to their stuff and people don't want to give them up. And that's why we have the projects, right? A lot of people don't want to move out of the projects, right? A lot of people become millionaires. They go back to the projects, right? And they lose their millions. They don't know why people can't look out for me.
You see a lot of millionaires go back to the project and move back into the project.
Not necessarily move back, but they don't leave it behind.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, and that happens a lot. You're from the projects, you don't leave the projects, you don't leave those friends. Every time you're doing something, I got to bring the friends up. Right? A lot of people, and a lot of it comes to their demise. Right? That's part of their demise. A lot of rappers who got killed, they couldn't leave or end up in jail, right? I couldn't leave the drugs alone. I gotta sell it. Right? I was a gangster boss, right? I start making money. I can't leave the hood mentality. It happened. Basketball players.
Okay. So
yeah.
I'm going to use this as a somewhat
read this comment.
Oh, similar.
Similarly, during COVID, most Republicans refused to take the vaccine. Right?
That's true. True.
Right? The two people who chose not to take the vaccine and die at the highest percentage were Republicans and blacks. Both people decided not to take the vaccine. Republicans and black, and they died at the highest numbers. Those are facts.
You know why? I think some people, for example, with the vaccine, because of prior experience that they noticed from history, and similar to people not wanting to leave their house during a hurricane, earthquake, whatever, because they see that after they leave, sometimes people come and loot. So history also trigger your response.
Again, it's most of it. Again, we are not listening to my point.
I hear your point.
My point is
blaming it on Republican.
No, I'm not.
Blame game.
I'm not blaming it on anybody. Right? I am stating data points.
Okay.
Not blame. Data points. It's two different things.
So what do you want your point to make?
My point is the mentality of people have to see facts and accept facts. Yes, somebody will go in and steal your gun. Right? Somebody will go in and steal your gun. Yes, somebody will go in and steal your car. Yes, somebody will go in and steal your valuables.
Right.
But if you stay there, your life will be stolen from you.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot replace that.
True.
That's my point.
Okay.
Nothing else. The Republicans and blacks who stood to the guns and say, I'm not taking the vaccine and end up dead, they cannot be recovered.
Okay.
All those, close to 1 million people who died, they cannot come back.
Right.
And they died with their belief.
Right.
And many of the people who died from Hurricane Helene died with their belief.
Right.
That's a problem for me. So you're telling me what's more valuable? Your gun, your $500,000, or your life?
Okay.
Don't okay me. You're trying to shut me up, so I'll shut up. I'll take the hint.
About damn time for the last 20 minutes to go to the diatribe.
I'm not going into the diatribe. I just want people to.
Yeah.
I just want people to start placing,
learning
what they're.
I have a question for you.
On. Yeah.
The unsealing of the charges against Donald.
Say it again.
The unsealing filing reveal about the new details in the election in the
January 6th, or
yeah. Do you think that's gonna make a difference? I don't think that's gonna make a difference unsealing it now, just before the election. Do you think?
Why would you? Why would they do this now? What would their intent be for doing something like this?
Yeah,
you're saying that because you're making it seem that it was done intentionally to no, it was in his normal course. He had to respond, and this is what he did.
So you think the timing was normal?
The timing was. This was the time. He had a certain period of time to submit them according to the judge's schedule, and he did what he had to do. He submitted it. It's this again. Is speculating that there's some ulterior motive, that the reason you released this, to have an impact upon this race. The same thing they said about Hillary Clinton with Comey. He released this letter saying, well, the way she handled these documents and stuff like that. It's could be true, but I doubt it. We always think
documents, John. Who unseals the documents?
This was, and first of all, it was not unsealed because it was not. The judge allowed it to be filed and open for the public. Most documents are, unless there is some sort of, security interest and things like that. They'll do it in camera.
You know, one of the things that I want people to understand in America, Donald Trump is a public figure.
Right.
Donald Trump or an elected leader in America.
I don't know why.
Right.
Whatever they do is scrutinized. That's why people say I want to stay out of politics. Right?
Yeah. It's a nasty.
And forget about the nastiness. But you're correct, though, Dr. Brian.
It's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat and it's nasty. But if
Yeah.
you just listen, the same way you make your money, right? Because let's not get it wrong. A lot of these people make millions and millions. Puff Daddy is a billionaire because of his public life. You and I are broke because you're private citizens. Right?
I'm not broke.
Well, you know what I mean.
I don't.
That is rich. Right? We're not Donald Trump rich. We're not Jay-Z rich.
I don't want to. Please.
But that's not the point of what I'm making. I'm saying we have decided to make public, right? We have decided to make public ourselves. So we got to take the good with the bad. I had a person, John, years ago, who was part of EJ Pack with me. 2 people with EJ Pack. Both of them could have won the city council over one of them could have won the city council over Darlene Neely. I'm sure that should have gotten the support from working families, from the unions, everything.
Right.
And I use her name because she's still somewhat public, but not political public. Zakia Ansari. I don't know if you remember her.
I remember.
Right? AQE. And the other one, I won't use her. Well, she's somewhat public, but she's also public. Or Cynthia Williams, right? One of them is in Lower Manhattan, Harlem area. The other one is in Brooklyn and Brownsville.
Right.
Both were approached to run for city council for various districts.
Right.
And then do this personally. But you know what they said, John?
What?
I am not going to run because I want to remain a private person.
Of course, I agree.
Right?
Politics is not for everybody, man.
Politics is not for everybody.
The way they scrutinize your life. Bro, as long as you're doing the right thing, man, you just gotta.
But you never know when you're doing the wrong thing. That's the issue. Look, right now, an acquaintance of ours, John, I haven't spoken to her in years, and I don't know if you have spoken to her anytime recently. Erlene King.
Yeah.
71 years old, right, is now in the papers for campaign finance fraud. $400,000.
Is that still in there? That was a long time ago.
I just saw it. I just got it today.
Okay.
Right? Or yesterday. So I'm not sure the date. I didn't check the date on the thing. Now I don't know whether or not Erlene is a thief or not. I'm not judging her. I don't know her like that. All right? To judge her. But the point is, she ran for city council against, I don't know if it's me or I know she ran against Kendall a couple of times. I don't remember she ran against me in 2009 or subsequent to that she ran again. But I know she wanted me to run again. She wanted me to run against Nick, and she wanted me to run against Germani, and I told her I'm not going to do it. Right? And she would help me to win. 71 years old is in the paper. I don't know. So I don't know how recent it is, but it did mention her age.
Yeah.
Right? Campaign finance.
Yep.
So that she misappropriated $400,000.
Right.
So a lot of people don't want to get in there because for reasons like these.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know, Dr. Brian. If he's unsealed, in my mind, it needs to be open to the public. Once you make yourself public,
it is open to the public. It is open to the public. It is open to the public.
You know, so which is a good thing. I just want to know. Did you hear that foolishness? I was reading it the other day, printed by the New York Times, John,
Or what?
where they stated that Donald Trump was told that Mike Pence was going into seclusion from the January 6th thing and for him to do something about it. And he's like, so what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
The vice president is in trouble, and your response is, so what?
Because he didn't do what Trump wanted him to do.
Because he didn't do what Trump wanted to. People don't see a problem with that.
It's like JD Vance is unfortunately a very smart guy, but he'll just toe the line. You know, you have to have some streak of independence. You know, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if you would describe it cult like or just, you know, you can follow. There's nothing wrong with following a leader as long as you believe in his policies, but sometimes you got to pull him up, you know. And I think his MAGA Republicans don't pull him up at times and let him say, "Hey, you know what? You know, like even the debate between Vance and Walls, it was more civil, meaning that, you know, go after one another. You know, they have respect for one another. You know, my thing is, you know, Trump just does not have no respect for anybody but himself.
You know,
You know, Trump was texting a whole bunch of crap during the debate.
Yeah.
You know, but the next thing. By the way, the thing, what was on MSNBC last night? Dial a VA. What was I just got a notification that the Erling King thing is all over Brooklyn, New York. What's it? News 12 New York. So it's not old, it's recent, I'm assuming. Because it was about something for a bar president in 2021. All right.
So it's about Eric. They're tying her to Eric.
No. I don't know which of the candidates that it was, but it's not Eric. It's not Eric.
They also said that Jumaane Williams received funding too from the same person that Eric did.
It's possible.
Yeah. So guess what? Everybody's caught up in this thing. So it's not just one person or whatever. All of them might be receiving funding from different individuals, and they don't even know.
You know, it's not that you're not receiving funding. Is not only not it's not, but not only that, but also people who are just people. Why can't people just be supporters? Right? Why can't people just be supporters? Right? Everything is about people, and I'm like, why?
It's crazy. It's just really, really crazy. But a lot.
Right. And, you know, I'm excited, you know, about that. Any birthday wishes? Anything you wanna?
Of course, to my fabulous, wonderful nephew, Jalen Pierre. Happy birthday. That's all.
Tell your daughter to say hi to Miss Williams when she goes to school tomorrow. I tell her I said to say hi to Miss Williams when she goes to school tomorrow.
Who are you talking about?
Oh no. No, not Miss Williams. Never mind. I'm wrong. Right. So, you know, one of the things is I'm working on bringing a farmer's market to Brooklyn. By the way, just before I forget, a couple of New York City announcement. We're doing a
pertaining to January 6th, where he was upset Mike Pence for not doing what he wanted to do. Yeah, he was. You're doing what?
We're doing a farmer's market at Mile 11 every Saturday. Once I get the detail, I'll try to get it out there. I was really excited this month. We have Breast Cancer Awareness Month. People doing their thing, observing that. We're going to see if we can get one of our guests. I'm going to ask Andrea to work on a few guests for that. But I want to do that. I wanted to also say that we have a community day, October 19th, right? It's going to be on Utica Avenue between Church and Linden. So everybody in the community, bring your kids out, enjoy it. You could get a free haircut for your kid. Just sign up. And the likes. So just come on out and enjoy it.
Okay.
So people can do that. Looking forward to this month. What did I say? I did say it. When is Women's History Month? For some reason, I feel like it's this month as well.
No, it's not this month. It is not this month.
When is it?
March.
Oh, February, March. Black History, Women's History.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, isn't this another month too? Like Domestic Violence Awareness Month, or this?
Domestic violence is this month.
Okay, so that's what I was thought. I'm not losing my mind. It is another important thing that we recognize this month, right? Regarding domestic violence and breast cancer awareness. And please note, October 3rd, right?
Today.
Oh, it passed. Never mind. I missed it.
Well, thank you all for joining us this evening. We're over 3 minutes over our time limit. We thank you for participating.
Who told you that we're 3 minutes over?
For being here with us, for communicating back and forth.
I want to offer my condolences. Publicly offer my condolences to a friend that I've traveled with, who passed away this week. Somebody that I looked up to and admired in Dennis. So just want to recognize him for being the person that he was. He loved track. He enjoyed it. We used to go into track together recently. And so I enjoy that opportunity. So looking forward to anything and everything that relates to him. In death, he was great. Hopefully his old high school look out for him and do something to recognize who was in life, this stature for man that he was. So my condolences to his family and his passing. Big up.
Condolences.
Dennis.
Condolences to the Dennis family. Good night. Good night, Eddie, and thank you all for joining us. May you all have a safe and wonderful weekend, and see you next week. God bless.
Right. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, viewing, sharing, but most of all, subscribe and forward our link to other people so they can join us on air. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for viewing, sharing, participating on The Village, where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, started from today. God bless. Enjoy.
Bonne nuit.